Hello everyone, welcome back finally to a new GOAT format video. Today I'm going to be going over a deck that I've been using for 3 to 4 months now. This one I really like. I never really experimented with this for the longest time. I've always been more of a warrior player. And kind of just going with the theme of playing a more aggro deck, I decided to try out the Beastdown / Zoo, whatever you'd like to call it, variant of the aggro deck. And this one I really dig. I think this deck is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this is the one we're going to be going over today. Consider this a complete starter guide. I want to make sure we have the deck profile broken down thoroughly so everyone can, go ahead and copy this deck, pick it up, mess around with it, see what you like. But I'll cover the deck, and then I will go over several duels. So this one might be a long one. But yeah, if you want a very thorough breakdown, that's what I'm going to set out to provide you here today. So anyway, here's the deck. I don't think I have changed it much at all. I think with all the replays I'm going to show off, they should all be using this exact deck. I think the side deck has stayed the same relatively throughout. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I have a bunch of replays, so I'll show those off. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So of course, first we have 3 Berserk Gorilla. Fantastic card, 2000 attack. Can't be in defense position, face up defense position, it destroys itself, and it must attack if able. So I think this is great because obviously 2000 attack beater, easy to slap on the board and just attack in. The drawback really isn't much of a drawback, to be honest. It's an easy way to bait out a Sakuratsu Armor or a Mirror Force. Anyway, great to open with this card. It lets you just establish some tempo and get aggressive real early. Next we have Abyss Soldier. This one is semi-limited in this format for good reason. This is a great card. 1800 attack and 1300 defense, so Tsukiyomi cannot get over Abyss Soldier, which is good. Of course, once per turn, discard 1 water monster to the graveyard to target 1 card on the field, return it to hand. So on top of having some aggro cards, we have this one, which is, I want to say like a fusion of aggro and control. And of course, we're playing the Sinister Serpent to help fuel the effect there. But yeah, not a whole lot to say about this card. It's fantastic. If you want to slap it down on field, pitch your Sinister Serpent and get their Mirror Force back in hand, that'll give you a lot of room to attack in for big damage. Next, we have 2 Enraged Battle Ox. This guy has 1700 defense, 1000 defense, so the defense stat isn't great. However, 1700 is still a reasonable attack stat. It can still get over Breaker if Breaker does not have the spell counter, so that's good. Another fantastic thing is that this is a great counter to Scapegoat. So right off the bat, you're going to have a good counter to Scapegoat, which is good. Because that can be a problematic card in Warrior sometimes. When I play Warrior, I don't often have a card that can pierce. So having Enraged Battle Ox, if you attack into a Scapegoat, that is 1700 easy damage. So yeah, good card to have there. Tribe Infecting Virus, of course. Discard 1 card from your hand and declare 1 type of monster. Destroy all face-up monsters of the declared type. So we have our Sinister Serpent, which goes great with Tribe Infecting Virus, but this is just a staple in most decks. Pretty self-explanatory. Breaker the Magical Warrior, of course, for back row removal. You can put the spell counter on him upon summon and remove that to destroy a spell or trap card. Bazoo the Soul Eater, so we've got 2 of these. I think you can make an argument for running 3 of these. It depends on, I guess it's personal preference. 1600 attack. The only thing I want to say on this is that a lot of times if you open with him, you don't really have any monsters to banish, so 1600 attack isn't much to defend yourself. So I like running 2. That way by the time you see him, you at least have 2 or 3 monsters in the graveyard you can banish to get him up to, that's at 300, 600, 900. Yeah, so he gets a good boost if you can banish 3 monsters. And we have 3 Pitch Black Werewolf. I love this card in this deck. Your opponent cannot activate trap cards during the battle phase. Pretty simple. Obviously, this is an aggro deck. Sakuratsu Armor will be a huge problem. And Pitch Black Werewolf just assures that you can attack in safely. DD Warrior Lady for the 1 banish, limited 1. Always play one of those. Exiled Force, same thing there. Tribute this card, target one monster on the field, destroy that target. Sangan, of course, for the search. That can search our Sinister, Exiled Force, and DD Warrior Lady, and I think that is it. Yep. Of course, we have Heavy Storm for the back row removal, one Delinquent Duo for the hand rip, one Pot of Greed, and one Charity for the draws. One Smashing Ground. I like main decking this one. I know a lot of people side deck this one. In an aggro deck like this, especially since I'm not main decking a Battle Trap, will just help get rid of a problematic monster. A good example is Jinzo. You can get rid of something like that, or you can get rid of your opponent's Chaos monsters. 2 Nobleman, of course, to banish the face-down defense card your opponent might have. 1 Brain Control. I really like main decking the Brain Control because, first of all, it's just a fantastic card. A lot of people don't actually main deck it. I know a lot of people main deck it in Monarch decks, which makes sense. However, in this deck, considering we have Pitch Black, which can turn off trap cards, Berserk Gorilla, if you can establish these two and then use a Brain Control on one of your opponent's beaters, you can do a lot of damage with 0 risk from a trap card if you have some protection from Pitch Black there. So, great card to include. 1 Mystical Space-Time Foon for back row removal. 2 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's just fantastic in this deck. I feel like I've been looking at tournament results lately, and a lot of times you see 1 Book of Moon in the Warrior deck. Sometimes they don't main deck it. However, Book of Moon is good enough that I think you can main deck it in most aggro decks like this. It does so much. So yeah, anyway, 2 of those. 1 Snatch Steal for the stolen card. 1 Premature Burial. 1 Return from the Different Dimension. Of course, with Bazoo, we're going to be banishing a lot of monsters. So you can pay half your life points, special summon as many as your banished monsters as possible during the end phase. Banish all the monsters that were special summoned by this effect. Obviously, this is a great way to close out games, and it's something you can also activate in the battle phase, so keep that in mind because that can be really handy and get your opponent off guard. Mirror Force, standard battle trap, always include that. Torrential Tribute, of course, to destroy all monsters on the field upon a summon. 2 Dust Tornado. In these aggro decks, I really like having back row removal. And in my opinion, from what I've seen, a good example I'll use is Earthbeat. Earthbeat a lot of times main decks Dust Tornado, and I think you always should. If you go first and open with Dust Tornado, that can really help you establish your tempo, and it puts so much pressure on your opponent that the game can end very quickly. 1 Ring of Destruction, 1 Call of the Haunted, another special summon from the graveyard, and 2 Solemn Judgment, just because, in my opinion, one of the best cards in the format. It's at 3 in this format. I think a lot of decks, I know Chaos doesn't really run Solemn Judgment these days. Aggro decks, you should always run Solemn Judgment. Of course, Warrior included, they usually run 3 of those. I'm running 2. I'm not a huge fan of opening with Solemn Judgment, so 2 just felt right. If you want to do 3, I think you could make room for it, or if you want to side 1, I think that is also fine. Moving on to the extra deck, nothing really to say. These are just random cards. We have no way to access the extra deck in this build, so yeah, that can just be whatever. And moving on to the side deck, we have 2 Kaiko the Ghost Destroyer. Good against other decks that banish, and you can banish some targets. This is a good Chaos counter, obviously. This always comes in handy against Chaos. King Tiger Wangu, this is another, fits in with the Beast theme. 1700 attack, it won't affect your monsters, and you can get rid of things like Scapegoat or decks that use Recruiters, things like that, so I think that's a good addition. 2 Mind Control, again, for the Chaos, counters Chaos, Chaos Control, things like that. Another good card to have. Lightning Vortex, great counter to Scapegoat. So that one's always a handy one to have. And it's just a good card in general to work with. We're running Sinister Serpent, so there's no reason not to side Lightning Vortex, in my opinion. The 3rd Book of Moon in the side, in case you need that little extra edge. Again, there's plenty of decks that you could use 3 Book of Moon against. I want to say Chaos and Chaos Control, I think, or if you want to call it Goat Control, Chaos Control. I think 3 Book is always good against that deck, so got the 3rd in there for that reason. 2 Mystic Walk for the burn matchup, and this works great in your deck because you can use it on something like Berserk Gorilla to get an easy 2,000 life point boost. 2 Scapegoat in the side, which might seem weird for an aggro deck. However, Scapegoat is a fantastic defensive card, and it's really the only counter that I have to Reasoning Gate, but it's actually good in a lot of counters. And the reason I like playing Scapegoat in this deck is that your opponent is never going to expect it. So if they side out and they go a little more aggro and you put in the Scapegoat, that's going to give you a lot of room to draw some better cards and kind of bait out all their good stuff. The third Dust Tornado, if you really need it. Obviously, if you plow over your opponent game 1, they're going to side the Sakuretsu. So go ahead and just get the third Dust Tornado in there. Yeah, the extra back row removal always helps. And as an alternative, I want to say you can also use Giant Trunade if you like that one. Trunade's good for going second, so consider that. Then, of course, the 2 Widespread Ruin. So if you're facing more of like an aggro mirror match, something like a warrior deck, of course, you have these 2. The reason I like Widespread over Sakuretsu Armor is because Widespread does not target. So for that reason, I know Sakuretsu is the standard, but yeah, Widespread I just think is better. If you're playing against King Dragon, that is a really troublesome deck for this kind of deck. And Sakuretsu Armor, if King Dragon's on the field, can't do anything. So just keep that in mind. So that's why we have things like Smashing Ground, that doesn't target. Widespread Ruin, that doesn't target. So that's the reason I play it. If you play Paper Goat format, Widespread Ruin is a lot cheaper than Sakuretsu Armor. So just some things to keep in mind. But anyway, that is the entire build, so let's go ahead and get into some replays now. Alright, so here we are at the replay screen. I've got a whole bunch of them. I'm definitely not going to play all of these. There's quite a lot. So let's go ahead and start out with a fun one. Let me go ahead and change this top-down view. Make sure we're all good here. Okay. So yeah, right here we're going to open up. We're playing against Burn. We have Solemn Judgment, so we're just going to set 4 here, and we're keeping the Graceful in hand. And then normal summoning the Pitch Black Werewolf. They're going to go ahead and set 4 here. We're going to Dust Tornado 1 back row. Draw into a Book of Moon. We'll go ahead, move to battle, and attack the Panda. That's going to match there. He's going to hit the Ojama Trio when we activate Graceful Charity. We will set the Mirror Force and hit the Ring of Destruction on Panda. That's going to be an easy 2,000 damage. They're going to draw and set the Ring of Destruction. They're going to activate that on Werewolf. We will chain Book of Moon to put him face down to dodge that. Go ahead and set the Solemn. Attack in with Pitch Black for 1,600. He's going to activate the Last Will. Put the Rescue Cat out there. This is a very, very risky play considering I have 4 back row. I'm going to guess this person saw the writing on the wall and just was going to go for it. But yeah, I mean, that is a very risky play when I have 4 back rows set down here. Last will activate to get injection. Of course, we're going to have the Mirror Force. That will blow up their entire field. And there is the Alt F4. So they rage quit that one. And that was supposed to be 3 games. So that was game 1. They just opted out of that immediately. Okay, so verse control. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with this one here. I think we are on... Oh, yes, okay. So we're going to go ahead and play the Kaiku. This must be a game 2 because I'm playing Kaiku. Dust Tornado in the end phase there to get their Scapegoat. Go ahead and play Enraged. We'll attack face down to get some burn damage there. They will get back the Graceful. We'll go ahead and attack in with Kaiku. That will get rid of the Magician of Faith and Sinister Serpent. Huge play there by Kaiku. We will set the Mystical Space Typhoon in main phase 2. They will fire off Graceful, and set 2 here. We will have MST hit the Mirror Force for huge play there. So we'll go ahead and summon Sangan and attack in with all 3 there. Going to Ring of Destruction the Kaiku for 1,800. Attacking for another 1,000. They have 400 life points remaining. Not looking good for them. They will play Mataza in the attack position. Hit the Sangan. We'll get the Sangan effect off here and grab Sinister. Metamorphosis to get the Fusionist, and then they will creature swap with us here, so we are going to get the Fusionist. Go ahead, Graceful Charity. We have a little fuel. We can pitch the Sinister and hit the Heavy Storm, activate Brain Control, and attack in for game here. So very easy. We had a lot of tempo. Kaiku helped banish some things from the graveyard. Nice and easy game there. Got one against Horus. This is another short game. Okay. Alright, so let's swap here. This is my hand. They're going to go ahead and set the Gravekeeper Spy and the Jar of Greed. We will activate Exiled Force to get rid of the Gravekeeper Spy and set 1 Solemn Judgment here in the back row. They will summon the Fusilier Dragon, attack in for 1400 and set Call of the Haunted. Gonna go ahead and play Berserk Gorilla here and just attack in. That's going to do 600 damage. And we will set the Mirror Force in main phase 2. It will activate the Jar of Greed for the jar and summon the Horus level 4. They're going to go ahead and attack in. We will hit the Mirror Force. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, we're hitting the Mirror Force. They use my body as a shield. Of course, we're going to Solemn Judgment that because our Mirror Force here is just going to give us too much value getting rid of both of these. And we really do not want Horus to activate his effect. So they lose their entire field, set the Mirror Force, so we are going to go ahead. Let's see what we're going to do. Activate the Pot of Greed. We're going to draw 2 there. Pitch Black, we will attack in. They cannot activate that Mirror Force. Main phase 2, we're just going to set the Premature as a bluff here. They will set down the Fusilier. We'll activate Premature Burial to get back the Exiled Force, and they surrender. So yep, another easy one there. Very aggressive opening. We maintain tempo, and they could not do anything. Got one here. Yeah, let's go against Reasoning. So Reasoning's probably the hardest matchup for this one, I want to say. I'm going to be honest, if I see Reasoning, I usually just quit the match just because I don't feel like dealing with it. And Beastdown is not good against Reasoning Gate. If you don't side Threatening Roar, there really isn't much you can do against Reasoning because, yeah, it can be really powerful. I just don't like playing against it. But let's see what we have here. Alright, so we will open up with the Sandgan and set the Ring of Destruction. Great opening play here. They will set the Scapegoat. We're going to go ahead and summon the Pitch Black. They will activate the Scapegoat there. They will get their 4 Sheep tokens. We can go ahead and attack 2 of these. 2 down. We got nothing for main phase 2. They will draw into the Jar of Greed. They're going to go ahead and activate Metamorphosis. We will go ahead and activate Ring of Destruction in response to the Thousand Eyes Restrict to go ahead and get rid of that. We will just attack in because we have Battle Trap Protection here. Main phase 2, we're setting the Mirror Force. They draw into another Scapegoat, which they will set there. We're just going to move to battle phase again. They will activate the second Scapegoat. And we will go ahead and attack 2 of those. And we will set all of our back row since we have protection from Solemn Judgment. They will activate the Jar of Greed. Sacred Crane here, they're going to attack in and crash. Premature Burial to get back the Sacred Crane to get that card draw there, so they will draw 1. Activate Giant Trunade, we will go ahead and just take that. I don't know why they activated that there. Rage Battle Axe, we will set 2, activate Bazoo, we'll get them up to 1900 and steal the Sacred Crane. Go ahead and attack a Scapegoat token for 1700 and they surrender right there. No way out of that one. So, once again, if you can maintain tempo against Reasoning Gate, it is likely that you can beat them. However, with 3 Giant Trunades in Reasoning Gate, a lot of times that'll just end your battle plan, especially if you don't have Solemn to protect from the Giant Trunade, so yeah, I just don't like that matchup. So we have 2 against Relinquish. These might actually be some interesting duels here. So this is a Relinquish Chaos variant, if I remember correctly. So this is a good one to look at. Alright, so they're activating the Manju. They will set the reinforcement of the army. We'll go ahead and play Berserk Gorilla and just tack in. We'll call that bluff. And we will set the Call of Haunted in main phase 2 here. They will draw into Zembira the Dark, but they're going to activate Manju again. Make the Relinquish play here. They're going to steal Berserk Gorilla. And they will attack in for 3400. So right off the bat, we're going to take some huge damage. But of course, we have the Heavy Storm in our pocket, so that'll help us out here. Smashing Ground, attack in with Berserk Gorilla. That is 600 damage there. Then we will call the Haunted another Berserk Gorilla for another 2000 there. Nice play. They will grab Sinister back. Activate King of the Swamp to get the Polymerization. They are going to go ahead and summon Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon and attack one of our Berserk Gorillas. They will also set a Sinister Serpent. We will use Abyss Soldier to get Twin-Headed back into the extra deck. We'll go ahead and attack in here. Good field presence so far. They're going to draw into Solemn Wishes. Don't know why they're running that card. That is awful. Zembira the Dark's going to go ahead and get over Abyss Soldier. But that will lower his attack. They will set Solemn Wishes here. We will get Sinister Serpent back. Activate the Graceful. Pot of Greed. A lot of cards going here. We will attack in with Berserk Gorilla. Main phase 2, set the Torrential. They will activate Solemn Wishes. They're going to gain 500 life points from that. They will set 2, DD Warrior Lady and the Mirror Force. We will go ahead, activate Abyss Soldier, and we will get the face down there. And we'll just go ahead and attack in here. Abyss Soldier gets banished. Berserk for 200. They gain life points from Solemn Wishes. They will go ahead and attack in with Zumbira. We will lose Berserk Gorilla here. Alright, Sinister Serpent. So, what's next? Set the Sinister and set the Book of Moon. They will activate Pot of Greed to draw 2 there. Activate Manju. We will hit the Torrential Tribute right there. They're going to activate My Body as a Shield to preserve. So they will attack in with both here. And we will just keep sitting on our Book of Moon because we know they're playing Relinquished. Get the Sinister Serpent back here. Activate Heavy Storm and chain Book of Moon to Zumbira. Hit the Nobleman on Zumbira. Go ahead and activate Brain Control here, and we will just attack in for game. Alright, that was a great game. Okay, and then we will go ahead and go to game 2. Take a sip of my drink here. So this one lasts for 18 turns. Alright, let's go ahead and swap hands here. They are going to set Sinister and Torrential. We will go ahead and activate Enraged and attack in. That's going to do piercing damage. We will set 2 Ring of Destruction and Scapegoat. Both of those are chainable to back row removal. They're going to set the Sinister yet again. Looks like they're kind of bricked here. Attack in. That's going to do more piercing damage. We will set the Sangan. They will get back Sinister. Get the Tribe Infecting Virus. We'll hit Ring of Destruction on Tribe. We will lose Battle Ox from that activated effect there. Here we can go ahead and flip the Sangan and just poke for 1,000. We'll just sit on this field for the time being. They're going to get Sinister Serpent back again. Activate the reinforcement of the army. They are going to grab Zumbira. They're going to go ahead and beat over Sangan here. That'll do a little damage. And we'll grab our own Serpent off that. They will activate Fusion Gate here. Fusion Gate is going to make Last Warrior from another planet, so that is going to be slightly problematic. Sorry. Graceful Charity, go ahead and draw big. We will activate Delinquent. Send 2 to the graveyard. We are sitting on Scapegoat, which we cannot activate right now. They will go ahead and poke for 2350 with Last Warrior. Activate the Terraforming. Okay, can't remember what my move here is. Yeah, so we're going to set the Tribe, and then we will set Return. They're just going to switch to defense position. And we will set a Bazoo in defense position. We can't do a lot since we can't summon and face up thanks to Last Warrior. So right now we're at a stalemate. Can't even use Exiled Force on Last Warrior. Unfortunate. So right now I'm just kind of turtling. Not a whole lot to do. Got Book of Moon. That'll hit the Last Warrior. We can finally go in with the Exiled Force. They're going to Torrential to blow up the entire field. We're going to lose a lot of monsters there, but that's not a big deal. They will activate the Fusion Gate, to which we will chain the Scapegoat here. This will give us a little bit of a defense. Another Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, and they will set the Mirror Force, still not attacking here. We will get Sinister back. And we'll go ahead and Heavy Storm, chain the Call of the Haunted, get Sangan, so we can get the Sangan grab here. And we'll grab DD Warrior Lady with that, get the Brain Control, and we can just attack in for game. There you have it, against the Relinquished deck, nice and easy. Let's see if we have some longer, more interesting games. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll play another aggro deck here. So I got 2 versus Warrior. Let's see what these are. Alright, so they're going to activate Reinforcement of the Army to get DD Warrior Lady in attack position. They're going to set 2 here. We will get Enraged Battle Ox and just attack in to see what happens. Sakuretsu will destroy that. We will activate Pot of Greed here. And we will set 3. Dust Tornado will get Call the Haunted, not a big deal. They will attack in for 1500 here. We're going to let that one happen, and they will set Mirror Force in main phase 2. We have got Pitch Black and Premature Burial. Get both of these guys in, and we will attack in. Enraged Battle Ox gets banished. Pitch Black will attack in for 1600, and we will set the Torrential. They're going to Snatch Steal. We will Book of Moon to prevent that. Another great reason to run Book of Moon. Torrential will just blow up the field there. They're going to call a Haunted the Tribe, bring him back. Attack in for 1,600. We can use, what are we doing here? Yep, Berserk. We have protection from back row with Solemn, so we will use the Solemn on the Mirror Force to get over that Tribe. Empty field there. We're sitting on the Berserk Gorilla. They will set the book and pass turn. We're going to go ahead and just move in. We know the Mirror Force is gone, so we'll attack here. They're going to take some big damage. They are down to 1,900, and we've got decent field presence. They draw into the Nobleman. They set that as a bluff. And we will go ahead and just attack in again. Book of Moon on the Berserk. And Bazoo for 1,600. They're hanging on with 300 life points there. Nobleman of Crossout will get rid of Berserk. They will activate Rhoda to grab Zambira. That will get over Zambira here. Little do they know we have a beautiful play cooking up here. Return from the different dimension. And that's, yep, they surrender. That's game. Beautiful. Alright, and this is the game 2 against the same person here. Oh, we gotta swap. They activate Graceful. They're going to set 2, activate Rhoda, and they will sit on DD Warrior Lady again for the opening play. We'll fire off Graceful Charity here, get rid of a couple, use MST on the back row, get the Exiled Force in there to get rid of DD Warrior Lady, and we will set the Solemn Judgment, which we lose immediately to Dust Tornado. Not a huge deal. Kaiku gets summoned for 1,800 damage. They will banish 2. Pitch Black and Exiled Force gets sent to banishment. We've got the Smashing Ground to get rid of Kaiku, and we will attack in with Pitch Black Warwolf, and we're also sitting on the Call the Haunted. They will activate Rhoda to grab Exiled Force, so of course they're going to hit our Pitch Black with Exiled. We will activate Call the Haunted to get him back. Tribe Infecting, attack for both here. Considerable amount of damage, sorry. Alright, they draw into the Solemn. They're going to set that and play Blade Knight. That will crash into the Pitch Black. Still sitting on Tribe Infecting Virus, of course. We're going to activate the Pot of Greed. Breaker is going to hit the Solemn, and they surrender right there. And let's see if we have anything more interesting. Actually, we'll do... Okay, yep, we'll do one last one here against Strike Ninja. This is 15 turns, so this might be more interesting. Enrage Battle Ox and set the MST for turn 1. They will hit our MST. And we'll, of course, lose out to Sasuke here. They will set Ninjutsu Art of Transformation in main phase 2. We will set Mirror Force and just sit on that. They activate the Graceful, pitch a couple, activate the Pot of Greed to draw 2. Delinquent's going to hit our hand. So we're going to pitch both Pitch Black, and we will hit the Mirror Force here. That will destroy their field. They will set the Sakuretsu. We're going to go ahead and go with Tribe. Attack in. Sakuretsu will destroy Tribe there. We have nothing to do, so we are ending turn with an empty field. They are setting 1 Solemn. Don't know why they didn't set all of them. Move in with Bazoo. They will activate Solemn on the Bazoo there. Going with Sasuke, of course, they're going to attack in here. Main phase 2, they will finally set the other Solemn Judgment. We've got a Smashing Ground. They will also Solemn Judgment that. And we're going for the Premature Burial here just to see what happens. Go ahead and boost Bazoo. That will get him over the Sasuke. They're going to draw into the Snatch Steel, which is not great. We're going to lose Bazoo. He's at a whopping 3,100, so that is a lot of damage. Not looking good there. We'll fire off the Graceful Charity. And we will set Solemn and Dust Tornado. Heavy Storm, we will Solemn that. They'll attack in. Dust Tornado will hit Snatch Steel. That'll get us back our Bazoo here. They will Rhoda in the main phase 2 to get Exiled Force to get rid of Bazoo. And we have Return here. We'll go ahead and set Return. That is ripe for activation. Berserk Gorilla, we can go ahead and activate that. Attack in, and we win. Easy as that. So yeah, nice 2,000. Good way to bait out the Battle Trap, and then if he gets destroyed by a Battle Trap, you can go ahead and just activate Return and finish off the game right there. So anyway, I think that was a good overview. We had a lot of duels there. This is a fantastic deck, so go ahead, use this deck profile, tweak it a little bit, see what you like playing with, but I am really confident in this list. I've Ever since I started playing it, I've won a lot of games, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I'll keep playing games with it, keep getting some replays. If I have updates, I'll make a video in the future, and we can keep talking about it. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.